think... Okay, yeah. Alright. Well, hello again. Today, we are continuing on with the commissioned Sulphur Springs. And I am ready to really start working on some details. Now, yesterday, after ending the stream and such, I realized there were some things that I wish I did differently with the layout of how this card is so far. So, I mean, I'll probably be changing those things as I go along. The major thing that was bugging me a lot... Hey, Rebecca, good to see you! First person in, how's it going? I kind of realized that I didn't really like how I extended out this blue area so far out. It looks really weird. It kind of looks like it's like drifting off into like an ocean or something. And that's not how it's supposed to be, or at least I think that that's not how it's supposed to be. Oh hey, Mr. Shed, I'm glad I got the whole family in here. Very cool. Glad to see both of you in here. Thanks so much for joining me. So yeah, I was just kind of recognizing yesterday after I ended the stream that I didn't really like how I had all this blue extended out across this area. Because it looks really weird. It makes it look like that the Sulphur Springs is like extended out into like an ocean or something, which is, I don't think that's how it should be. So that's probably going to be something I'm going to try and correct today. And I mean, I don't think it'll be that hard to fix it. It might be a little awkward in color, and I'll probably have to mess around with the coloration a little bit to get it to blend in with the blue and still look alright. But ignoring that particular area, which I want to redo, I'm just going to mostly focus on filling in a lot of the details, kind of fleshing out the colors a lot. Because the whole point of having all this yellow extended out, it's obvious that it does actually, this yellow, the shade of yellow here, actually does match a bunch of different areas within the actual picture, which is great. But it definitely needs to be fleshed out for some of the areas of the yellow are really bright, and then some of the areas are really dark. So that's going to have to be something I mess around with, because just this one shade of yellow is just not going to cut it by itself. So we're going to kind of work on that today. And like I said, I mentioned this in the last stream. I really want to focus on having the main part of the art extended out first. Because I do actually plan to have some details that are added in to make this card actually altered. But it's primarily an extension to start with, so that's what we're going to focus on. For anybody who didn't happen to see what the alter is going to be, because obviously the extension is just as simple as taking this art and expanding it out. But there is going to be some alteration in here, which means I'm adding in new details. So let me go ahead and show you guys what the new details are going to be. So basically we have the main imp, which you guys can see right there. So he's already done. But the main goal is to basically add in this lady imp, who's kind of jacuzziing with the other imp. And I was going to add in a beer can and maybe a couple of other details that kind of make it look like they're all, you know, having a jacuzzi party or whatever. It's kind of cool. It was Man Cave's idea to kind of have in like a little lady imp in there and everything and make it look like a jacuzzi party. And when he was kind of describing it to me, I really liked it. So I was like, all right, well, I'll sketch it out and we'll talk about it and see how it looks. And when I did this sketch, he told me he really liked it and he was really excited to see it come together. So this is what we're going to be working on. Add a little rubber ducky. That might, I don't know, maybe. That'd be pretty funny, like a couple of bath toys, maybe a bottle of shampoo or something. Alright, well, let's get into this. So, like I said, the first thing I really wanted to focus on is I want to focus on fixing this area, because this was really bothering me last night at the end of the stream. So I'm going to get started on it by mixing some colors here. Wow, we got quite a few people in today. It's good to see you all in here. Rolo. Obviously, Man Cave is going to come out and hang out. He wants to make sure that everything goes perfectly okay with this particular painting. So he's got to make sure he's in here so that he can see every little tiny detail that's going on. But I'm really glad to, you guys are all coming in and hanging out, and that's awesome. I love having you all in here, so thanks so much for joining me. I'm peeling off gross old crusty paint, so I gotta kind of clean up my tubes and get that yellow going. So I'm so close to being at the end of this yellow, and I do have another tube of yellow ready to go. I'm just trying to get to the end of this tube of yellow first to start with, and that way I don't waste any paint. I really, as a artist on a budget, I really try not to waste paint, which is really hard because, like, the thing that's really annoying sometimes is when you, like, accidentally push out, like, a big old glob of paint on your palette, and then, hey, Bo and Mezzy, good to see you guys here. Wow, full crowd tonight, awesome. But anyways, one of the most annoying things is, like, and I actually did this yesterday, is when you push out, like, a big old glob of paint, and then you don't use, like, you barely use it. And so it's like you use a teeny tiny amount of the paint, and then all the paint turns to crust, and it's just like, ugh. God, that's awful. It's like, oh, all that beautiful paint is wasted, and I'm going to have to buy more. Why? Why you do this? Alright, so I'm going to kind of focus on this yellow, and the first thing I want to do is I want to lighten it up, because that's actually how I handled the yellow yesterday, was I added a good amount of white to it to just kind of really lighten up the color to get it to match, and that actually worked really well yesterday, so we're going to stick to that to start with. You're actually going to notice that when I actually overlay it on the blue, it's probably going to end up coming out a little darker, which is fine. For multiple reasons, it's okay, because I know that if I really need to, I can just add a little bit, like a multiple set of layers to the yellow, so that way it'll darken up the color and sharpen it as well. But the other thing, too, is that as it fades off in the distance, it's naturally going to get darker. So that's why I don't really have to worry too much about the dark blue color just absolutely changing the overall hue of the yellow. So let me get some white paint here too. So I'm going to make sure you guys can see this palette pretty clearly so you guys can see all the paint shenanigans I'm up to over here. Let's get a nice little like a little blob of white going on. Make sure I don't waste any. That's the thing. I use all the white. Like, I could put, like, a big fat glob of white on here, and then, like, use all of it and still need more. It just drives me nuts. I probably go through white paint faster than any other kind of paint. So I'm going to put a big old glob of white in there. Mix that all up. Give it a nice, like, eggshell yellow kind of color. And, yeah, just get that in there. And that seems pretty good to start with, so we're gonna go ahead and mess around with this color for a little bit and see how it comes out. So we're just gonna jump right into it. No messing around with that. I'll probably do some more playing around with the color a little bit later. But we're just gonna kind of work with what we got here. So I'm gonna try and get it to focus. I was having some issues with focusing the camera a little bit earlier. It was giving me a really bad time. You know, it's funny because I bought this camera specifically so it would be higher quality and it would have, like, because they advertised an auto zoom, and it does have an auto zoom, but, like, it's very finicky. So, and technically I guess I could have bought a nicer camera, but I figured, you know, working with this particular quality of camera was decent for its price, so I didn't really want to... you know, I kind of wanted to, once again, like, stick with this, see how it worked out, and then I'll probably upgrade again in the future, or something like that. So I'm just kind of trying to add in this, this yellow here, just like that. And my goal right now is to kind of make it look like this is a big, big gigantic pool of sulfur springs over here. So, let's see. Kind of get some more of that yellow. Just really blend it in there. There we go. And I'll kind of add like another little pool right there. There we go. That looks pretty nice. And I can go really heavy on the color too over here, which is pretty good. It makes it a lot easier to handle. Um, Glob of white, giggity. Yes. Big old globs of white. White everywhere. It's everywhere! There's white everywhere! Oh god, why? Oh man. Yep, and we're just gonna kind of just put that all over the place. Really blended it. Like I said, like, it was really, like, if you guys could have seen me last night, like, way after, like, the stream ended, I was kind of, like, looking at this card at, like, multiple different angles, and all of the blue that I left up here at the top was just absolutely irritating me, because it looked so wrong. Like, it just was like, it's obviously not supposed to look like that. Like, there's just no way. So now that I have the chance to actually correct it live on stream, I'm feeling a lot better about handling it and just making sure it's looking correct to me. Because if it bothers me, it's probably going to bother other people. That's kind of what I've learned about this stuff. And I mean, I guess that's not necessarily true. It's actually funny. Some of the art pieces, like some of the altered cards and stuff like that I have painted, some of the cards that I dislike, like, in other words, like, I really don't like them very much, are the ones that have sold really well. Like, people would buy them from me. And I'm just like, oh, my toothpick fell in the water. Oh, well. That's okay. It's just kind of funny to me because, like, I have, like, these, like, pieces that I do, and, like, there are aspects of them that I don't really like. Like, and it's, I'll admit, like, they'll just be teeny tiny little errors that you would, like, barely, like, apparently you would barely notice them because I've sold them to people and they loved them, so, but they would be a big enough deal to me that they would bother me personally. So, like sometimes a mixture of colors won't work the way that I want, or sometimes a particular detail is, like, really off and it looks awkward to me, but those are the ones that, like, people really want. So, like I said, like, I have a whole bunch of different cards that I painted that I've been willing to sell, but, you know, nobody is, you know, offered to buy them, which is fine. It's not a big deal. But then I have, like, these pieces that, like, I'm like, oh, like, I could have done a better job on this one, or, oh, it doesn't look right to me, or whatever. But then somebody comes out and they're like, oh my god, I love how you did this one. It's so nice. It looks great. I want to, like, put it into my, like, my commander deck, or I want to put it in my cube. And I'm like, really? Like, this one right here? The one that, like, you know, I'm not going to, you know, tell you all the errors in it, but it definitely looks off to me. But they love them, so it's like, you know, like, that's cool. I had, like, a coworker of mine who commissioned a piece from me, and I definitely, like, I worked really hard on it, but it didn't come out the way that I wanted it to look. And so, like, when I finished it and I showed it to them, I kind of had, like, tongue-in-cheek where, like, I was, like, you know, not really excited about how it came out. And I even offered to, like, redo it for free for them. And they were like, no, are you kidding? Like, this is beautiful. I love it. And I was like, all right. Like, I'm willing to redo it for free for whatever reason. But, you know, if you love it, then that's cool. So yeah, like, I think that's kind of neat, though, because, like, I mean, I remember also talking to, like, who was it that I was talking to my dad about it at one point, and I told him about how I was selling these cards that I wasn't personally pleased by them, and one of the things that he said that really caught me off guard was he was saying, well, sometimes it's the little, like, things that seem off or kind of, like, weird that make a particular piece unique to specific artists. And it's possible that people are actually noticing those details that aren't quite right, but because they're unique to you, like, in other words, like, nobody else would make an error or a detail quite like that, that's what actually drives the intrigue to somebody wanting to buy it. And I thought that was a really interesting perspective that I had not thought about previously. And it was really nice because it was coming from my dad, you know, like my dad, like I gotta say, like my dad has been very, very supportive of this particular, like me starting this channel and doing all this painting and stuff like that. And it was really fascinating to me that, you know, he was like, I mean, you know, he's my dad and he's family and he's gonna support me and all that. But I was really surprised by how like how he was receiving it, like how he was taking it. It was like as if like because I always kind of thought to myself like my dad would probably prefer me to be like a business person, like a person who is starting like a professional business in something. Like I mean, and that's the thing, my dad does kind of say that like what I'm working on is a business. But I would think that, like, you know, he would have. My thought process was always that, like, oh, he would have preferred me to be selling, like, opening a store and selling a product or something like that. But he is surprisingly, like, very into what I'm doing, and he's very supportive, and he's actually been this person who's constantly encouraged me to keep taking this the next step and taking it further and really dialing into it. And it's really interesting to me because, you know, it's a combination of, like, you know, focusing on artistic talent and entertainment and things like that. And that's not something that I would have actually expected him to be super supportive of. But it's really cool that he actually is extremely support. I'm sorry, I pulled that way out of the camera, and I just now realized that. I'm so sorry. But it's just been really cool that he's been so extremely supportive of all this. And it just makes me want to take it that much further and work even harder on it, you know? That reminds me of how the new art direction of photorealism strikes people as boring and samey, but we all love Richard Kane Ferguson. Yeah. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there, like, the homogenized style of artwork, like, there are some qualities about it that I actually do enjoy. But the thing is that, like there are certain homogenized style pieces of artwork that really stand out for certain reasons compared to others. And then there are some that just kind of blend in with everything else, you know? And it's definitely really kind of interesting to me. Like for example, I would say like the Dominaria set had a lot of the kind of artwork that was very homogenized, but the thing is that there were definitely certain pieces that you could tell followed a very particular style of artwork, but they really stood out. And then there were like other ones that just kind of blended in into obscurity. Like you would just never recognize them or think about them ever again. And yeah, it was very weird. It was a very weird set, and it definitely had that kind of like samey sort of style, I guess. Um, I love Shalai. Isn't Shalai the angel with the green ability or whatever? She's like a white angel with a green ability. That sounds really familiar. I think one of my I think my best friend has a he built a after we bought a bunch of like Dominarian stuff. He built like an angel deck with that like angel in it. I think he had like a couple of copies of it, and he was like, well, now I have to like build this angel deck. And he has a whole bunch of angels in that thing. He loves angels. I think that's like one of his favorite creature types. He was trying to build a demon deck too, but it didn't really come together. He said he was having all sorts of struggles with it. But yeah, that actually looks a lot better with that yellow coating that I put on. Because that was bothering me so much last night. I'm glad I finally took care of it so it doesn't look so weird to me anymore. And I'm just going to kind of apply an extra coat of yellow on the edges here. Just to kind of, make it a little better, a little bit more defined. I am going to recreate that blue, though, to kind of add in some other, you know, bluish areas to the card for the springs and such. Okay, yeah, I thought I remembered that, Angel. As per usual, I have delicious coffee over here that I made myself. It's very yummy. So I'm going to zoom out, and I'm going to kind of mess around with the palette a little bit more. There we go. Get that out of there. I'm going to get a bit of blue. I'm going to try and use a little bit less of it, because last time I put too much on it, and I ended up barely using it at all. So let's just kind of get a nice little dab of it right there. Kind of put that away. And I'm going to need a little bit of black. Let's go ahead and get some black on there too. Ooh. Got a bit coming out right away. Got this like messy, crusty blob going on here. Oh god, it's everywhere. It's everywhere! Why? Oh, it's such a mess. Okay, I'm just going to kind of just get that off there. It won't come off. Yeah! Why? Why you do? Look at this mess. Look at this mess. Look at this mess. Drives me nuts. Drives me nuts. And the worst part is I'm not even going to use all this black. There's no way. Like, I'm definitely not. Black all over my fingers. Black all over the palette. Black all over the paint cap. Drive me nuts sometimes, I swear. I'll just kind of dip my fingers in the water, try to get it off a little bit. Oh god, it's like I'm making a bigger mess. Maybe this wasn't such a good idea. Oh god, it's everywhere. Oh god! Why? Why? Oh god. There's white and black everywhere. It's all over the place. It's out of control. Oh god. I can't get it off. It won't go away. This might be the messiest I've ever been while painting. Like, it's just everywhere. Oh god, why? Alright, I think that's the best I'm going to be able to do for now. I'll just, like, I'll take a bath later to get all the paint off of me. Alright, let's get back into this. That was ridiculous. Alright, let's kind of work on some of this blue here. So I'm going to go ahead and grab some of this blue. I'm going to throw it right there. And I'm going to try and get some of this black. The black that's everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. Okay. I'll just grab this little blob right here and kind of throw it in over here and just mix it up really nicely. It gives a really nice, very dark blue shade that I need for the spring water, because it's very dark. It's got this very, very dark coloration to it. So just mix the blue and the black to get that extra kind of dark navy blue color to it. So let's go ahead and get this out of the way, and I'll bring the card up, and we'll just kind of like start using the blue and see how it works out. There we go. If it'll focus, that would be great. Bam. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to kind of just add some areas here. There. Let's make it like, you know what, I'll add a little bit right here as well. There. That's actually a really good shade for that. There we go. And let's kind of spread that out just a little bit more. I'll kind of like make sure it connects to that little piece right there. Really spread it out. I don't want it to be too dark. Because I am going to add more details to it. I'm primarily going to like add the little like white bubble colors here that you can see, like on the water, which will be really fun to do. And I'll just add a little bit more here, and I'll kind of be a little faded with the blue on this particular spot, simply because there's all these like little like blue, not blue, yellow spots floating on the top of the water up here close to the top. So I'm just going to kind of like add just like a faded blue color. Actually, it's kind of dark, but whatever, that's fine. I'll fade it out with some yellow in a little while. Which is fine, because I've got plenty of yellow to work with. And there we go. That looks pretty nice. Yeah, this is coming out pretty nice already. I like it. Okay. And then I'll add some blue over here, because there's obviously a little bit of an extension of this pool on this side. And add some of it over here as well. There we go. And I'll add some here. Just like that. There we go. Just kind of, maybe extend it out just a little bit. There we go. Make it look like it's opening up for another pool right there. As for this portion, I kind of want to extend it out just a little bit, but I want to make sure that there's still a thin line of yellow right there. Because there is like these little thin lines between some of the areas of the pools. So I'm kind of trying to make it look like it looks a little bit more natural that way, if you know what I mean. So that's kind of what I'm trying to make sure it looks, is that it's got to have that kind of natural appearance to it, which is what I really want it to do. I'm also going to add some up here. Like I said, it's just supposed to be a whole bunch of extended out pools in this sulfur spring. So there's all sorts of little areas and little spots where you can add the varying bubbling pools of springs, which is kind of cool. There we go. Okay. That looks kind of cool. Let's see. I'm trying to get it to stay focused. Yep, look at my pores. Look at all of my pores. Alright. Now it extends out a little bit nicer. That's nice. Okay. There we go. And then I'm going to come back around onto this side over here. And I'm going to dip my brush because it's getting kind of dry. Oh, goodness gracious. Let's see here. I'm kind of like trying to look at like some of the other details of this card as well. And I'm noticing that there's an interesting set of like green shades as well, like darker green. So I'll probably be adding that in as well in a little while. I just want to focus on these blue pools to start with, so. But I'm just kind of like trying to pay attention to just like the varying details and such, because that'll just kind of, you know, make it a little more natural looking, which I always really like. There we go. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just kind of like looking at how it looks through the camera to just get a little bit of a better perspective. The camera is like a second set of eyes sometimes. It's really nice. Okay, and I'll bring this side around over here. And I want to extend this pool just a little bit. Not too much, just a little bit. Let's see, just kind of like that. Yeah, and I'll put some spots right there. Just kind of make it look like that the yellow is like the weird crystally kind of rock or whatever it is kind of extending out just a little bit. There we go. So I found out something crazy yesterday, and I totally didn't know, and I feel like somebody told me this at one point, and I just wasn't really aware of it, and I didn't really pay attention much to it. But I found out that, like, there's a Bob Ross YouTube channel. And I was like, it randomly came up in my feed yesterday, and I was like, oh my god, this is actually a thing. I think somebody told me about this, but I didn't realize it was legitimately a thing. So, and I was talking about earlier, like, I think I was talking about it a little bit in multiple of my other streams, that I was kind of interested in trying to rewatch some of the old Bob Ross episodes and stuff like that. And I was thinking that I was gonna have to like try and find them like on like DVD or something. But then when I stumbled across the Bob Ross YouTube channel, I was like, oh, well, here it all is. Awesome. So so I thought that was kind of cool. I'm probably gonna actually start rewatching those and see if I can, because I have seen a lot of Bob Ross stuff in the past, like way in the past. But it might be kind of cool to just rewatch some of them and just get some new ideas and things like that for painting just from watching those old episodes. I just thought that was really cool. It's kind of nice that that's something that is still going, you know, even if he has passed away and things like that. So I just thought that was really neat. I'm also looking into like trying to get what is it? There was this art program that I was really interested in, an online art program that I was going to look into, just to kind of like I want to like constantly improve my painting methods. So I've been kind of like trying to get all these different bits of information and things like that from multiple different sources. So that's something else I was kind of looking into, is because I just want to keep on getting better and improving at my, at doing artwork and things like that. Because I really enjoy it, and I just want to keep on, like, doing it better and better and better. And, like, I want to get to a point where, like, I can just, like, I don't know. I mean, I like how I do my artwork currently, but it's just one of those things where I really feel like that I can just constantly improve if I set my mind to it. So that's something that I am aiming towards. So I'm glad that all you guys are here hanging out. What have you guys all been up to lately? I know we had kind of an interesting set of conversations yesterday, especially after I asked like how everybody was doing. So I hope you guys are all doing better and feeling better. So how's everybody doing? Is anybody? It seems like I would assume that probably like Ashed and Rebecca are probably working today, would be my guess. I have today off, which is pretty nice. I mean, obviously, if I'm here doing this, I obviously have today off. But just kind of curious. I'm also really excited because like today is Saturday, and this next week is my last work week at my current job, which I'm very, very happy about. And I'm just so very done with my current job that I'm ready to move on and move on to bigger and better things. And so I'm pretty excited about that. And I just want to, just, move on, start a new job, meet new people, make more money. Because I am actually, it's funny because the new job I'm about to start has they kind of do a thing where it's like they start you off with a lower pay, and then the harder you work and the better you do, they kind of like raise your pay over time. And it's just really funny because the starting pay is actually way more than what I'm making currently, which is like really exciting to me, because it's like as if, yeah, you're gonna be on a probationary pay, and it's like, but your probationary pay is more than I'm currently making, so that's awesome. Going to dinner with an old friend tonight. Oh, that's cool, Man Cave. Yeah, I actually haven't seen most of my friends in a while. I kind of miss them. I've been really wanting to hang out with my best friend because his birthday happened last week, and I got him a birthday present, but I haven't had the chance to give it to him because he's been so busy that we haven't been able to hang out. His schedule is practically a polar opposite to my work schedule. So like it's been really tough for us to like make time to hang out together and play Magic and things like that. Um, but like I really want him to actually like I really want to hang out with him because I want to give him his birthday present. I just bought him a couple Magic cards, and because he's a big Magic fan like I am, and so I just really want to get those to him. I got him a special the special promotional art for what's it called Prophet of Krufix. Because he has a deck centered around Prophet of Krufix, but he doesn't have 4 copies of Prophet of Krufix. And he has 1 copy of the special foil promotional art, and he wanted more, and so I basically got it for him for his birthday. So I'm really excited to get it to him because that's his favorite deck to play with. I mean, he doesn't really play it with me because we don't play regular, constructed. But it is his favorite deck, and I know he wants to like make it look really nice and have all the pieces it's supposed to have. So I really want to get that to him when I get the chance. Bo Falcon, I just got back from a hike to a waterfall in North Carolina. I'm on vacation. Cool, Bo. Well, take lots of pictures, man. Like, get some of those beautiful sceneries on camera, dude. Mm. And I have another really good friend that I haven't seen in quite some time, and it's not because they're super busy, but it's because it's actually been a lot because I've been really busy. And normally, what happens is like I contact her to let her know it, like to ask if she has time to hang out and stuff like that, and then we kind of like try to arrange our schedules so that we can actually meet up and spend time together. Um, but I've been so busy that I just keep forgetting to contact her to spend time with her. So I hope she's doing all right. I haven't seen her in like I think about like almost 2 months now. Kind of miss her a little bit. Let's see here. I think what I'm going to do for this part is I'm going to actually extend this out like this. There. I only have like a few best friends. Like I don't know. I'm very kind of closed off um, to like most people, and I don't go out too often. Like I try to go out every once in a while, but I'm not like I'm a very social person when I want to be, but like a lot of the time I uh, try to kind of do my own thing and spend time by myself doing my own things. And like I also have like I'm very kind of careful with who I trust and things like that. So like I only have like two, 3 people that I am comfortable with spending my time with, and like and even those people I don't even see that often. Like I said, like I haven't seen any of my best friends in probably about a month or so. So it's whatever though. I'm kind of okay with being on my own and doing my own thing. That's okay with me. I'm very comfortable with that. Um, which is funny because I didn't used to be that way. I used to actually, when I was younger, I used to constantly be trying to do things with friends and things like that, especially back when I was in high school. So I used to be very focused around finding out what friends of mine were up to and trying to um, have lots and lots of free time to spend with friends and things like that. So it's very very different than how I am now. And I guess I think a part of it too was just simply like growing up and like just kind of like having to accept the fact that not only as myself being an adult, but also other people around me have grown older and become adults, and like Like for example, like the best friend of mine that I haven't seen in quite some time, and I said like I haven't like set aside time to hang out with her and stuff. She has like a whole family, so like she is constantly busy all the time. Like if she's not like working her butt off, then she's probably spending time with her family, which is very time consuming. Um, so it's been that like I have to accept the fact that I'm busy, my friends are busy, and some of my friends have family, so it's kind of tough to like be able to actually make time um, for myself to spend with other people, as well as for those people themselves to be able to have the free time to spend with me. So, and that's okay. That's totally okay because I got lots of shit I have to do anyway. So. Being a busy person. That's just what life is, right? Yeah, there we go. These pools are turning out pretty nice looking, in my opinion. I can't wait to be more detailed with them. That's what I'm really looking forward to. So they're gonna look really nice. Oh, there we go. I think I'm going to add some more pools down here too, but that's what I've got so far. Just kind of let me kind of refocus the camera here, if I can. Come on. Oh, excuse me. Come on. Aha! Oop, there we go. Huh. Okay. Kind of looking at it through the camera, trying to get a better perspective on it. I definitely want to add more. I mean, obviously. There's a lot more I want to add. It's kind of nice to every once in a while just like take a step back and look it over. Get a better understanding of what's going on in it. Okay. Let's see if I can kind of... One of the things, too, is I want to sharpen the color on this pool in particular. It's not dark enough, so let's just kind of add a little more of this bluish color to it to kind of darken it some. There we go. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Yeah. Okay, there we go. It's kind of weird because, even though the card looks straight to you, it's actually laying on its side from my perspective. So it's because the camera is off to the right side, like over on the right side, hangs over to the right. So like I have to kind of like maneuver the card in a way so that it like still stays in the center of the frame and all that. I think I'm going to add a pool right here, like so. Just kind of like that. There we go. And so I got a new what is it called? I got a new card in the mail not too long ago, and I was so excited about it. Like I had been like I actually monitor certain card prices for long periods of time. Like I'll put a card that I'm looking at, like in my watch list, and I'll just kind of like watch it for like months and months at a time, sometimes as long as a year or more, before it gets to a price that I'm comfortable with buying. And one of the cards that was on that list that I was really looking forward to buying was I bought a copy of the new Palladia Moors from Core 19, or not Core 19. It was the what was it? The core set that came right after Dominaria. Was that 19 or are we in Core 20 or are we in Core 19? I can't remember. Whatever. It's just a number. The most I basically bought myself a foil copy of Palladia Moore's from the core set that she was in. And I was so excited because I had been monitoring it for a while. When I first put it, and like the thing is from you guys probably already know because I've talked about it a couple times. Palladia Moore's is core 19. Okay, we're in core 20. Okay, cool, cool. I wasn't totally sure. Um, I don't really keep up with the most recent Magic sets much anymore, so it's like I lose track of them very easily. Um, that was kind of like when Mr. Ashed was talking about the card Vesperlark, and I mistook it for Revelark because I've never heard of Vesperlark before. I only know Revelark. So I was like, do you mean Revelark? And he's like, no, I'm talking about a brand new card that is like in a set that you don't know anything about. And I'm like, oh. um, I just assumed it was a typo for Revelark, so it was my bad. But then I looked up the card and I was like, damn, like, in my opinion, I looked up the Vesperlark, and in my opinion, the Vesperlark is better than Revelark. Like, it blew my mind. I was like, how could they, like, do a printing of Revelark that is so much better than Revelark in, like, so many different ways, and they made it uncommon instead of rare? Like, I thought it was so ridiculous. And I didn't even know it existed until Ashed was talking about it. It was really funny to me. Um, but yeah, I bought a foil copy of Palladia Moore's, and Palladia Moore's is like one of my favorite. Is actually my favorite of all of the Elder Dragons. And when I first put it on the list was when Core 19 was in Standard. And she was something like $17 or something like that. And I was like, I'm not gonna, like, even if it's a foil, like, I'm not gonna pay $17 for this card. I'll watch it. And I just bought it like a few days. I mean, I bought it about a week ago, but it came in the mail not too, like a couple of days ago. And I bought it for $3. I bought Palladia Moore's in foil for $3. And it was funny because I was telling people. I remember I was talking to Perp not too long ago about it. I think this was like a few months back. I was telling him about how I wanted to get a copy of the foil, Palladia Moore's. And I was like, yeah, it's like around $10 right now, but I think it could go lower. And as a foil. And I remember him mentioning to me, he was like, well, maybe that's a pretty reasonable price. You know, if it stayed at $10, like, for this long, like, I don't know if it'll go down because it's probably that price for a reason. And I was like, I don't know. I really think that it's being overestimated. And I think that once it shifts out, like, because we're in the rotation process. So, like, a lot of the prices from, like, Dominaria and, like, Core 19 and stuff like that are shifting out of the standard rotation price range. So I knew that a bunch of different things were going to drop in price. So I was like, you know what? I will wait until, like, the rotation starts to occur, and then I'll check out the price. And if the Palladia Moore's foil doesn't go lower than $10 after the rotation, I'll buy it for like $10. And sure enough, like when the rotation started occurring, Palladia Moore's dropped from $10 to $3, and I was like, that's it. That's the price I want. It's mine. Like, foil Palladia Moore's, $3 foil. You better believe it's in my collection now. And it was really funny too, because like I bought it for collecting purposes. So like I don't actually really plan on like properly putting it in anything. I was actually thinking about putting it in my old Palladia Moore's EDH deck, because I still have that, which I actually took the original Palladia Moore's out of. I took my original Palladia Moore's out of my EDH deck for her, Because it got to a point of where I was barely ever playing the EDH deck, and she, like, I bought Palladiumors for, like, I think like 10 or 15 bucks back then, and I think she's much more expensive now. I can't remember. But I believe that I kind of decided that, like, I'm not really playing with it anymore, and, like, it's more of a collector's item than it is, like, something I would want to play with. So I kind of pulled her out of the EDH deck and put her into, like, a double sleeve, and then threw her behind a tumbler, and that's that. But that means that now the, original Palladiumor's EDH deck that I designed specifically for that card doesn't have Palladiumors in it anymore. But now that I bought the Palladiumors foil, I'm kind of debating whether or not I should, like, put that in the EDH deck, because then it would be Palladiumors again, you know? Sent your stream link to my painter friends, so if Co-Podcast gets a hold of you, it was from me. Okay, cool. I appreciate that, Rebecca. Thank you for spreading the word about my work. I heavily, heavily appreciate that. I haven't made the effort to contact that guy. I joined his group out of curiosity. And I have looked at some of his cards, because now that I've joined his group, I do get updates on Facebook about, like, the various projects he's working on, which are very beautiful. Like, he seems like a very talented guy. But I haven't, like, actually made any kind of effort to, like, reach out to the dude. And it's just, like, it's not because I don't like him or anything like that. It's just, I don't know. I just haven't really felt the need to really reach out to him yet. I mean, I am kind of curious. Like, there was actually one point very recently where I was thinking about contacting him, simply because I'm curious about some of his, like, methods and like, his quality of paints, the art supplies he uses, what kind of tools he uses. I am actually pretty interested in that, but I also kind of thought that maybe that might be kind of rude to, like, go to another guy who is a professional painter and he makes a business off of, painting cards. And I thought it might be kind of rude to, like, contact him and ask him how he does everything, like, kind of like trade secrets and stuff like that. So I didn't want to really, bother him with that kind of stuff. So I figured, I'll just kind of keep a low-key watch on the guy and look at, what he's selling, what he's working on, if he's willing to release any information about what he does or how he does it in his actual commentary, then maybe, like, I can pick up some ideas from the information that he's willing to just release out to the public. So, but I didn't want to actually, like, harass the guy for any, like, particular methodologies or anything like that. So, but if the guy is actually interested in contacting me, I would love to pick his brain, I would definitely love to have a chance to talk with the guy and learn about some of his methods if he's comfortable with talking about them, and kind of, just have a conversation with a guy who's passionate about the same kind of thing that I am. That would be very cool. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, I will look into that, Rebecca. Sure. I would be interested in that. If I really like what he has to say and talk about, I'll even maybe become a donor to his Patreon, like, legit. Because I like supporting people that do things that I legitimately enjoy and am interested in. So I mean, if he does paint tutorials for free and is willing to share, like, what he does and his methodologies and stuff like that for free, then I would probably even be comfortable with, like, adding giving a little bit of money over to him to show him that I enjoy what he's doing and support what he's doing. So I'll definitely take a look at it. We'll see. So as you guys can probably tell, I've added a whole bunch of pools to this card. And I actually really like how it's kind of turning out. I like all the little, blue holes all over the place. So now I think I'm going to try to add some more of the details, probably like the various different textures of the yellow would be really nice to work on, as well as probably getting into the bubbly, gooey pits and stuff like that, adding all the bubbles and things like that. So I think he's all about building the community. Okay, yeah, I will look into it. I would definitely love to have a chance to talk with the guy and see if he's willing to share some information and maybe point me in some directions that I haven't already attempted. So, yeah, I'll definitely look into it very soon. Let's see. I think I'm going to work on some different shades of yellow. I think that's something I'm going to try and do next. So, let me go ahead and move this card out of the way. And work on some different yellow colorations. Kind of zoom this out so you guys can see. Yeah, but anyways, like I was talking about, and the other thing too is that even though I was talking about adding Palladia Mors, like the new version, to an EDH deck, I don't really play EDH much, and the thing is that my EDH decks are reflections of the fact that I don't really play the game much, because the decks are riddled with holes. Like, there used to be some really bonkers cards in my EDH decks that are no longer there anymore because I took them out and put them into my cube, which is something I play all the time. So I'm also kind of debating whether or not it's even worth it to, like, add Palladia Mors as the new Palladia Mors as a commander in the deck. Because I don't even really play the deck anymore. Like, I don't have any people that... Like, I mean, my best friend does have a commander deck, but we don't really play commander much anymore. Mostly because we just play cube. Sorry, my nose is really itchy. It's bothering me. Okay, anyways, but yeah, I don't know. I kind of want to get a darker yellow, but I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to go about it yet. Maybe what I should do first is actually add some white. Oop, that is very active. I dipped my finger in the white to see if it was crusty, and it's not. So I got white paint all over my finger. So I'm going to add some more white to this yellow to really lighten it up much, much more. I think I might add even more than that. Because it's definitely... I can already tell that it's not good. It's going to be too dark. So I'm probably going to add a little bit more white just to really get it going here. There we go. I don't know. I remember explaining not too long ago about all the reasons why I don't really like Commander or anything like that anymore. So, like, even if I was to, like, kind of try and soup out the, soup out. It's so funny to think about saying that after the new video that, Mike just released. It's kind of weird to think about, making a Commander deck stronger, even though I pretty much never play Commander. So, I mean, I don't even know if it's actually even worth it. But, I don't know. I just, I don't know. I just wish I played Magic just a little bit more. But I also know that, I don't have a very large crowd of people to play it with. I don't have a card shop to, like an LGS, to be able to go and play the game at as well. There are no LGSs in my town. We used to have one, and it got shut down. And they just weren't making enough money. And honestly, it wasn't really that good of a store anyways. Like, it didn't really support a very nice playing environment. And the couple of times that I went there, like, the customers were real dicks. Like, I'll never forget, like, walking into, like, back when the LGS that was, you know, in my town was still open. I remember going in there one time, and, like, I was, like, having a conversation with the owner of the store, who also was not a very, I don't know, he was not a very... It's not the word is not, he was just not a very accommodating guy. Like, he was alright, but he just wasn't very helpful. And you could tell that he had, like, this I don't really care, like, he basically had this attitude of like buy something or get out kind of attitude. And like I didn't really like that. And the other thing too is that like when I was in there, I was kind of like having a conversation with like the owner who, like I said, had this buy something or get out attitude. But also like I was standing there talking with the guy, and this kid who's like a young teenager, like basically like sprints into like the store, and like he literally like I'm standing there in front of the case like talking with the guy, and this kid, like no joke, comes over and pushes me out of the way and gets on his knees to like stare at something in the glass case. Like totally pushes me out of the way. Like doesn't even care. Like shoves me out of the way. And I was like, bro, back the hell off. Like I don't know what your deal is, but get the hell off of me. And I remember like I that was I remember I bought like a couple of packs of Dominaria, but I was like really I was hoping that the guy was selling singles, and he was not a single seller, so that also kind of turned me off because I used to yeah, I used to live in California, and there were a bunch of LGSs that I used to go to in California, and all of the LGSs that I used to visit in California, all of them sold singles. So it was really weird, like, to be told, like, no, we don't sell singles here. And I'm like, all right, like, I guess I'll buy, like, a pack of Dominaria and I'll see you later. Like, you know, like, I don't know what you want. Like, and like I said, he was a very, he was just a very, like, his attitude was overall just, like, buy something and then get out. Like, that was, like, no joke, like, the way that he was, like, communicating with me. And I was like, I'm not really into this, you dude. Like, you could be a little bit more, I don't know, polite, I guess. I don't know. But maybe that's just me asking for too much from an LGS. I don't know. So I kind of tested out this yellow. It's very close to what I want it to be, but it's not quite bright enough. So I'm going to add some more white to it. Here, let me kind of zoom it in so you guys can see what I just did. Here. Come on. There it is. Okay. So if you guys can kind of see right here, you'll notice that this particular shade is just a teeny tiny bit brighter than the rest of it. So it's not quite the color that I want, but it's very close. So I'm going to add some more white to my yellow to get it closer to what I want it to be. I just like getting that brighter color going. That's what I like. And one of the things I got to say about like me painting this piece that I'm really enjoying. So for anybody who doesn't know, I love yellow. Yellow is my favorite color. So I love getting the chance to like paint cards that have a lot of yellow in them. And this is definitely just like a card just totally filled with yellow all over the place, which I absolutely love. I love painting bright colored things. Like bright colors is where it's at. Like my favorite color is yellow, and my second favorite color is pink. So, and like I said, that's a testament to the fact that I just really love bright colors in general. I think they're very nice and they're very fun to paint with. Yeah, I think this is getting pretty close to what I want. Maybe, I'm thinking about also adding like some shades of white. Like not necessarily lightening up the yellow more, but adding like white as an actual color into the painting to kind of, just to brighten it up more. So, let's see here. So I noticed that you mentioned that he's interested in building up the community, which I think is a very interesting concept. I've noticed a lot of people saying like, oh, like we need to, you know, focus on the community and make the community a better place. And it was funny because I was actually talking yesterday about like the concept behind like the Magic community and stuff like that. And it's actually like, even though I do think it's a good idea to like make the overall community like a better place, I do actually have to say that like one of the things that I brought up in yesterday's conversation was that um, you can't like the actual idea of completely improving the community and changing everybody and making everybody like work together and be better like as Magic players is like it's kind of like a pipe dream almost. Like I was kind of talking about yesterday how like people, like all people are different, and like you're never going to get around the fact that there are people who are jerks, and like I do like the idea of like people trying to make the community a better place, but the thing is too is that like even if like everybody shares like these similar interests and things like that, um, it's not just going to automatically make like you can't control the people that want to just be jerks and like do their own thing and things like that. And I mean, like, it is important to like I do agree that it is important to try and like make the overall community a better place, but at the same time it's like you still have to accept the fact that there are just people that just want to be jerks, and they want to do things the way that they want to do them, and you can't control how they act and things like that. So I do, like I said, like I like the idea of like people saying like, or like even just make like straight up making an effort to make the community a better place, but at the same time it's like you have to know when somebody's just being a straight up jerk, and you just have to ignore it, because just because a whole bunch of people like Magic doesn't mean that, like, just because somebody likes Magic doesn't mean they're a good person, you know? So, I do hope that, you know, when talking about, like, building the community and making the community a better place, that it's still understood that it's just, you can't really change every single person. Like, there's always going to be people who are just going to yell and scream and be annoying. I don't know. I probably didn't need to bring that up again, but I don't know. The thing is that like I've had actually a lot of bad experiences with Magic communities in general, and so I don't really try to, like, I mean, that's why like I only play Magic with a few people, and I don't really go to many LGSs, and I don't partake in meta or like competitive Magic of any kind, like, because it's like at the core of it, like if you try to get into that stuff, you're gonna come up against a whole bunch of people who just want to like win at any cost, and they'll be jerks about it as well. And like I've always been this very casual Magic player, like extremely casual. And anybody who tries to like make my casual experience, God, my nose is itchy today. Anybody who tries to make my casual experience with Magic the Gathering like miserable, like I just kick them out. Like I just like, cool, I want nothing to do with you, like at all. There will always be jerks. He's about helping others when he can. He is not about changing people, just about finding those good people and creating the Magic community you want to be a part of. Okay, I can understand that. Hey Peacock, good to see you, man. Um, Subhab, competitive anything is not fun. Yeah, it's true. I think that's a testament to like my level of gaming. Like I do love like playing games that like make me think and stuff like that. But like the moment that it gets competitive, like I'm okay with losing and stuff like that. Like losing, like, because there are lots of games that I enjoy playing, but I'm not like the best at them. And but I'm okay with that, you know. But anybody who wants to like come and like shove it in my face, it's like screw you, dude. Like screw you. Get out of my face. Like I'm here to have a good time, and like winning at all costs is not me having a good time. And like having somebody who has the mentality of winning at all costs and who wants to make me feel awful about it, like get out of my life. Oh. And like I said, like I've had actually a lot of really bad experiences with the Magic community. Like even like all the way going back to my childhood, I've had terrible experiences with the Magic community. Like it's always I've always felt like that like because people act like oh like the Magic community only just started getting bad, and it's like no, it's always been that way. Like I've had count like as a small child, like between the ages of like 11 and like 14, like I have had so many hardcore Magic players rip me off in trades. Like there's a reason, like you know how I tell you guys like the best cards I've ever gotten like as a child were me paying for them. Like I was talking about how I bought a Sliver Queen at like the age of 12 or 13 for like $20. So like some people would think like, "Oh, well why didn't you trade for it?" And it's like, "Well, you want to know why? Because when I was a kid and I used to get into trades, most of my trades people ripped me off. Like they did. Like they would make really bad like deals for me because I didn't know any better. Like I didn't know what was good. Like I remember one of my um, ultimate oof moments as like involved with Magic trading was way back when the very first Ravnica set came out. Me and my like I went out and I bought a whole bunch of packs of Ravnica and I cracked them all open, and one of the packs I opened was a Life from the Loam. And like when I opened it, I'll never forget like reading the card, and like as a small kid I didn't understand why Life from the Loam was such a good card. And nobody had ever explained it to me, and so I thought it was a bad card. And like I said, nobody explained to me like why the card was good. And somebody came up and basically offered to trade me a Gozaroth from Ravnica, which is like a Leviathan. And it's a terrible card. Like Gozaroth, if you guys have ever seen that card, it's a terrible card. Terrible rare. And I took that trade because I had no idea like what Life from the Loam was good at doing or what it was for. And nobody wanted to explain to me how the card functioned. So like I had plenty of like trades that were like that where people would just rip me off and like I had no idea. And there were a couple other really big trades that were like that. Like I remember like somebody ripped me off for a great Sable Stag. Like back in, I think that was like M10 or something like that, which is like, it was considered one of the most powerful green creatures ever printed. So like, and then there's all the times where like I had Magic players who just wanted to like rip me to shreds in fights. Like they would bring out like Tinker decks and things like that. Whatever. Let me catch up a little bit. I play Soul Calibur and Blaze Blue. Oh, you know, I've heard about the game Blaze Blue, but I don't actually know anything about it. I've heard about it from a few different places, so I'd actually like to know if Blaze Blue is a good game, because I've heard about it, but I've never tried it. Soul Calibur I have tried, and Soul Calibur's great, by the way. I have played that game, and it is a lot of fun. Play those games with my friend exclusively since we go back and both have a lot of fun. That's cool. Hey, Carly, I'm sorry I didn't notice you jumped in earlier. It's good to see you. I'm doing great. I'm just kind of painting this Sulphur Springs, having a really good time painting it. Just kind of adding in all sorts of interesting little details here and there to make it look really nice. So thank you so much for coming in and joining me. It's great to have so many people coming in and hanging out, and I love you guys. It's wonderful. Sliver Queen for $20 is hella good deal in hindsight. Yeah, in hindsight it was really good. But I mean, I think you remember when I was talking about it in the last stream, I was saying like at that time people made fun of me for that deal. Like people thought I was an idiot for paying $20 for a Sliver Queen. I did get made fun of for doing that as a kid, but I don't care. It's fine. Let's see. Yeah, everybody's saying hi to each other. Are you trying to get a part-time job, Peacock? Well, I wish you luck on it. Hope that works out for you, dude. Yep. Well, I'm working really hard on it, Man Cave. I'm going to get this piece looking really nice. I actually, it's really funny because I feel like that when I get commissions, because I've done commissions in the past, and I always feel like I work extra hard on them, simply because I feel like that, like unlike a lot of my other pieces where I'm just kind of like doing them for me a lot of the time, until they get sold to somebody, obviously. But when I'm doing something specifically for a particular person who's like paid for it, I generally work extra hard on it because I feel like I have to like really impress the person that I'm painting it for. So, in other words, expect this to be really good. Because I definitely have a lot of interesting ideas for this piece as I'm working on it. I'm just kind of trying to add the brighter yellow color around the pools. And I'll be adding them in various different spots as well. Not just around the pools, but I want to focus on the pools to start with because that's where the color is definitely the most prominent. So I'm just going to kind of carefully add all sorts of little bits of bright yellow all around these pools. Just like so. There we go. Well, I'm going to have to go over that with the toothpick. That's fine. It's not a big deal. I'll just kind of add that in, add a little bit of that. There we go. Blaze Blue is a casual 2D... Oh, it's two-dimensional. Interesting. It was made to ease people into 2D anime fighters. It's from the makers of Dragon Ball Z Fighters and Guilty Gear. I've never heard of Guilty Gear, but I do know of Dragon Ball Z Fighters. I need to pay for a machine and fabric and a camera. Okay, cool. What are you working on, Peacock? Just curious. It's okay if you don't want to tell me, but I'm just curious. Yeah, the reason why I was curious about Blaze Blue is because a completely different video game that I play did a promotion for Blaze Blue to advertise it. So this game does has other video games and things like that advertised within the video game. And the Blaze Blue thing looked really interesting, so I was kind of curious about what it was. And like I said, because you mentioned it's a 2D anime fighter, the game that I played that was advertising Blaze Blue is also like a 2D anime kind of thing. So that kind of makes a lot of sense. But, yeah, I might have to look into that just out of curiosity. So I am kind of interested to see what it's all about. It was kind of focused, the promotion they were doing was focused around these three lady characters. One was like a blonde with like pistols or something. And then one of them was a chick who was like a giant chipmunk. It was really silly. She had like little chipmunk ears and a chipmunk tail, and she was really cute looking. And the other character was like a bad guy. But it was a chick, and it was like some witch or something with fire powers, I think. But those were the only three characters that made it into the promotion for the other game. I need to pay for a machine. Yeah, I read that. I want to get into cosplay or just patch. Well, that would be really cool, Peacock. Are you interested in trying to do not only cosplay but make content on YouTube about cosplay? Because that would be really cool. I'd probably check that out. My sister actually likes cosplay. She likes her and her husband. They like to go to various conventions and things like that. And they like to dress up for the conventions. So, yeah. I've never been a costume kind of person. But my sister is way into it. Like, her and her husband love making costumes. It's got a super complicated storyline. Noelle, that's the main character. Yeah, that's the girl with the guns or whatever. Chipmunk is Makoto. Okay. And the chick vampire is Rachel. Okay, that sounds familiar. Yeah, those were the three characters that were in the promotional event for the other game I play. Um, but yeah, they just seemed really interesting. They had this one costume for the Noelle chick that was like, whoo, super sexy looking. Like, her butt's hanging out and everything. It's awesome. Oh man, it was like she turned into like a half robot chick, but like her butt hangs out and like she's got all these weird floaty metal parts and it's really cool looking. Um, and by the way, the game that I'm talking about is all about like sexy anime ladies. So and it's actually kind of a fun game. Like I actually really like it. If anybody's curious, it's the game is called Destiny Child. Not the band. The game is literally called Destiny Child. And I love it. I mean, it's very simple. It's not a very complicated game at all. But it's kind of like the whole thing is you collect characters and you make them like fight and stuff like that. And it's a lot of fun. Like I really enjoy it. But yeah, and they do like promotional events for other video games, like basically like these other video games like basically pay a ton of money to this Destiny Child game to like make specialized characters of the other characters in the games. Like they even did one for Dead or Alive Extreme, like the most recent Dead or Alive Extreme game that came out. They did a promotional event where you could collect all of the like. It allowed you to collect like 3 or 4 of the different characters from the Dead or Alive Extreme game, which was really kind of cool. But it's definitely a very risque kind of game. Like I said, like there's a lot of like very revealing costumes in the game, which is kind of cool. I actually really like it. It's there was this one guy who was describing it to me this one time before I got into it, and he was like, "Yeah, I would describe it as a waifu simulator." Like it's a game where you collect waifus. And I mean, there's other characters too. Like there's like guy characters and monster characters, but let me tell you, that game is all about collecting the ladies. The very, very beautiful and sexy ladies. And I mean, there's also some stuff for like if women are interested in the game, they have some sexy dudes in there too. Like that's what's cool about Destiny Child. It's not just all sexy ladies. They go hardcore on the sexy dudes as well. Like there's some like very very relatively attractive men in that game too. But it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. After Magic Fest Las Vegas, I want to paint altars and make boxes for Magic the Gathering stuff and make a cosplay. That would be really cool, Rebecca. I bet you could totally pull off a really awesome Liliana costume, so you should definitely go for it. I would love to see you release some content because I get the impression that you really want to do it, and I think you could totally pull it off. Like, you should go for it, girl. Like, the hardest part is just getting up and doing it, you know? And, like, you can totally go for it, you know? I believe in you. Alright, so I think I'm also going to work on making a darker yellow, because I kind of have this, like, nice lighter yellow color going on. So I'm going to actually pull the card away in just a second, and I'm going to start making kind of a very light orangish yellow color. Destiny Child, I'll look that up for research. Yeah, it's really good. Like, it's an Android game, and I'm not sure if they have it for Apple phones, but they probably do. But it's so much fun. And, like, the thing is about the game, too, it's beautiful. It is by far one of the most beautiful looking, like phone games I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, it's beautiful. They work, you can tell that they work so hard on making everything look so beautiful in that game. Like it's astounding. They do this they do this thing that's like there's a name for it. I can't remember what it's called, but they basically do this thing where they take two-dimensional animation and they try to make it look 3D. And it's beautiful. They do such a great job with it. It absolutely amazes me how beautiful the game is. Like, I mean, I always remember that, like, they also like to push the envelope with it. Like, they like to go, like, the extra step with their animation. They did an event for a new character they released where they were experimenting with how realistic they can make the anime animation look, like the two-dimensional animation. And so they did a promotional character where they basically like made it so that it was this really sexy looking lady, and she has like sweat dripping off of her body, and the sweat is so unbelievably realistic looking. It's weird. Like it's beautiful, but it's so astoundingly realistic looking. Like I've never seen anything like any kind of animation before where they managed to take a two-dimensional character and make it look completely three-dimensional with like dripping sweat off of the chick's body. It's amazing. Like even if you like yeah, it's sexy and stuff like that, but if you ignore just like the pure sexiness of it, like it actually would blow your mind the level of quality they put into like the animation and like the like it's amazing. Like I highly recommend it because it's like I said, it is by far one of the most astoundingly beautiful phone games I've ever seen in my entire life. Like it is literally the future of like two-dimensional animation easily. Like it's astounding. But like I said, that's the thing that keeps me coming back to the game is that like it has addictive gameplay. And I mean, it is very heavy on microtransactions, but I mean, I don't buy microtransactions, so I mean, and I do fine with it. Like, I do fine without spending any money on it. I have a really powerful team that I didn't have to spend a cent on, and they're a lot of fun to play with. And but yeah, that's what keeps me coming back is just how absolutely beautiful the game is. Like, considering how it's just a simple like 2D fighter. Like you're not actually like pressing like many buttons to like make the characters fight. A lot of the game is automatic. So like it's kind of like you build like a really powerful team, and then you kind of just let them do their thing. And they just kind of go and like work together, and based on like the synergy between the characters, you find out whether or not they like work efficiently together. And like there is some minor like button pushing, but like you can either choose to make it completely manual where you control everything, or you can set it to automatic and it'll do everything for you. And then there's like an option where most of it's automatic, but some of the parts of it are like you have to control. So it's a really interesting game, and I like it quite a bit. I've actually talked about it before. I remember one time being in Cinder's stream, and I was talking about it because like it has some gambling aspects to it. Well, I'm sorry, not gambling, loot boxing aspects to it. And something that's really interesting, I'm very lucky with loot boxes. I'm just a really lucky dude. And so sometimes, like, I will be opening up a loot box on that game, and, like, I'll basically, like, there are times where I'll be like, you know what? I'm going to open this loot box, and I'm going to get this character that I want. And I'll literally say that, like, right before I open the loot box, and then I'll crack open the loot box, and it'll be exactly what I wanted. Like, that's happened to me multiple times. There's actually this one character that I'm trying to collect a full set of, and I'm trying to collect a full set of this one particular character, and I remember, like, basically, like, you know what? I feel like opening a loot box of this game. and you know what? I'm going to get the character that I want. And, like, no joke, I cracked open one loot box, and I got the exact character I wanted. And I was like, cool, I'm done. Awesome. Uh, so I tend to be really lucky in loot box games and stuff like that. And I don't play very many loot box games, and I definitely don't pay for them. So I've actually had people tell me that I should go and gamble more often. That's like another thing, too, is... to give you guys more of a perspective on how good I am with, like, loot boxes and things like that. Fun fact about me, I have never, ever, in my entire life, ever, lost a game of bingo. Every game of bingo I've ever played, I always win at least once. I've never played a game of bingo where I've never won. Now, I mean, I don't win constantly. Like, I mean, you know, I don't play a game of bingo and then win, like, 2 or 3 times, like, every game. Like, sometimes I'll win 2 or 3 times, but I always win at least once. So I'm just really lucky, I guess. And I've always kind of been that way. But I always say it's because I have a very positive mentality, you know? People with positive outlooks on life generally tend to win more often. I'm still trying to kind of make this yellowish-orange color. It's definitely orange, but it's not yellow enough for me. So what I might do is I'm thinking about leaving this orange alone, and then starting a new pile of yellow, and then adding just a tad bit of this orange to the yellow. So... leatherwork and coats are my thing. Ceiling. Okay. You know what? Yeah, look at, if you, Peacock, if you start making content about making, like, costumes and stuff like that, I will definitely check it out. Because that sounds really interesting to me. Because I've always, like, there have been times where I've wanted to do, like, cosplay, but, like, I just can't get into it. Like, I'm not as passionate, like, I've tried. Like, I one time bought a bunch of supplies to make myself a costume, and I never used them to, like, make that costume. And I felt really bad about it, because, like, I just don't have the same, like, the way that I feel about painting is, like, I don't feel the same way when it comes to costume making. So, and I kind of wish I would get into that, but I don't know. Like, I don't know. It's just not the same thing for me. Like, and if it is that kind of thing for you, dude, like, go at it, like, hard, man. Like, straight up. Like, follow your dreams, follow that passion, like, as far as you can take it. You know, like, and if you want to make a channel out of it, like, do it, dude. Definitely do it. What's your opinion on Goodwill auctions for cards and game console? Well, if you're talking about, like, Goodwill, like, the store, the Goodwill stores are awesome. Like, I mean, I've had some pretty good experiences with buying stuff at Goodwills. In fact, when I was trying to get into cosplay, I actually dated a girl. I feel like I'm going to sneeze. Okay, maybe not. I actually had a girlfriend for a little while who was really, really into costume design, like hardcore into it. And she was very good at it, too. And she always told me that she bought all of her costume supplies at Goodwill all the time. That's where she would always go to get her costume supplies. As for stuff like game consoles and cards, if you're talking about Magic cards, I don't think I've ever seen a Goodwill sell Magic cards before. I've never seen that before. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but I've never personally seen it. I've seen game consoles and video games sold at Goodwills before, but I've never, like, bought any before. You know, I don't know. I don't really know that much about trying to... Ooh, that color is so nice. I don't really know very much about trying to buy video game consoles specifically at Goodwill simply because I've never done it. But I assume that... Oh my god, that color is spectacular. Let me show you guys real quick how good this looks. It's amazing. So this is the color I just added. and it's got that, just like that really nice dark orange hue that is not like violating the yellow, but it blends in so nicely. There it is. You see it right there. Looks so nice. I'll probably add some white spots a little bit later, but I want to get the shading right first. Goodwills have online auctions. I did not know that. I did not know that, and I have never looked into them. If they're selling Magic cards online, like, I bet you could probably buy like a big bulk box of Magic cards, and there's probably some good stuff in there. And like, even if it ends up being like mostly jank, hey, at least you got a whole bunch of jank for, like, you could build a cube out of it, you know? Because like a lot of really good cubes are made from like large collections of jank and stuff like that. So I could see it as still being relatively profitable and beneficial overall. But I legit did not know that Goodwill did online auctions. That actually sounds pretty cool. Oh god, that looks so nice. It always makes me so happy when I get a color that is like exactly the color I need. It feels so satisfying, you know? It's like, oh, that's the color I need. Oh, it feels amazing. My idea was to buy bulk cards and resell them. Yeah, dude, go for it. Like, that's classic, like, you know, buy low, sell high, you know? Go for it, dude. You might be able to turn that into a, you know, like a pretty good, profitable card selling business. You never know, man. Who knows? Maybe you'll be like that one guy who's in Perp's stream earlier today, who's like, "Oh yeah, I was going through my card collection and I found 8 Yawgmoth's Will. I guess I could resell them." It's like, oh my god, dude! Like, no joke. I've been following the card prices on Yawgmoth's Will because I want one so badly. Yawgmoth's Will is like a $75 card. 75 bucks. Like, I was like, oh god, I want one so bad, but I don't want to pay 75 bucks for a Yawgmoth's Will. Like, no way. Like, I want a Yawgmoth's Will so bad, I painted my own Yawgmoth's Will. Like, I mean, I took a card. Like, I think if I remember correctly, you guys have probably seen it, so I won't pull it out. But I took a card that has a 3 CMC, a 3 converted mana cost with 1 black, 2 colorless, and I painted it up to be a Yawgmoth's Will with altered art. So, I mean, that's how bad I want one, is I wanted one so bad that I decided, like, well, if I can't afford one, I'll paint my own! Screw you guys, I'm painting my own Yawgmoth's Will. But I mean, one of my dreams, like, so, like, I have this idea that I'm going to just be crazy rich someday. And I'm working on it every day. Like, and I'm not saying that necessarily, like, YouTube, like, I would love to be crazy rich and famous on YouTube. That would be dope. And, you know, I'm striving towards it. But the thing is, like, that's not my only, like, dependency of, like, trying to become rich. Like, that's why, like, I'm moving over to this new job. This new job is going to pay me way more money. I'm going to be way more happy with it. And it's going to get me closer to my you know, my goals and my dreams. So, like, you know, but I have this idea that someday I'm going to be able to afford all the cards that I want to, like, own. Like, as a collector. Someday I'm going to own my own Alpha Lotus, you know? Someday I will own 8 copies of Yawgmoth's Will, you know what I'm saying? Something to strive for, you know? And, I'm working very, very hard every day to get to that point. But I'm also enjoying the adventure that, you know, results in it. So, like, it's not like I'm trying to, like, you know, all I care about is making as much money as possible, but, like, and I mean, I do want to make as much money as possible, but I'm also enjoying the adventure, like, the process of getting there. I also saw $80 Wii U, which I can do certain things to it, and I can't legally, yeah. Go for it, man. Like, yeah, dude, you buy that Wii U and you mod that. I mean, you do whatever you see fit with it, man. Um, I don't know. I was never really interested in the Wii U, but I mean, if you can get one super cheap, like that would probably be pretty nice. Getting a like, I mean, getting a Wii U really cheaply makes up for the fact that it's not worth its original price. So I mean, go for it, man. Like totally. I would never discourage that. I definitely am going to have to make more of this yellow. It's definitely not enough. I need more of it. But luckily I have all of the colors I need to actually get this yellow going again, which is very nice. Very nice. Kind of zoom out just a little bit. I think I'm going to try... Well, actually, I think I still have a little bit of this yellow left. So I'm going to try and use all of this yellow, and then I'll probably make some more of it in just a little bit. But yeah, I definitely... Like, I have so many cards that I really want to own. I have a bunch of cards that I can't afford right now, but they're on my buy list. And I track them in hopes that they'll get lower. And I mean, what's really nice is that a lot of them, like a lot of the cards that I've been tracking, have gotten lower in price, like slowly but surely. And I mean, generally when they get into like certain ranges, I just go out and I buy them, you know? But there are definitely a lot of cards that I really want that are just nowhere near my price range. Like, for example, the other day we were talking about, Perp was showing off that he had acquired a what's it called? Is it called Batterskull? I think it's called Batterskull. I think that's what it was called. It's the Phyrexian Mythic Rare equipment. I think it's called Batterskull. And I would love to have a copy of that card because it's freaking bonkers. That card is so powerful. Hands down, one of the most powerful pieces of equipment ever printed. But the thing is that, like, that's a $40 card. $40 for a Batterskull, man. Like, someday I'll get my hands on that. I should also check to see what, like, Wormcoil Engine is going for. I don't own one, but it would be kind of cool to own one. I don't know if it's held the same value as Batterskull has. I would assume so because, like, even to today's standards, like not Batterskull, but Wormcoil Engine is so bonkers strong. It's ludicrous. But yeah, I would love to, like, own some of those cards. Let's see. I'm a simple bird. I'll spend 60 new games and snacks and stuff for cosplays. I'm good with not having anything else. Okay, that's cool, man. Sometimes it's easy to, like, it's nice to just have, like, really simple wants that you know that you can afford and excuse me, that you know that you can afford and that you know are easy to acquire. Like, I like to take pleasure in, like, the simple things in life, too, you know? By the way, I'm mixing some more of this yellow color. I definitely don't think I have enough yellow here, so I'm going to add some more. Kind of tapping down my yellow, trying to get everything I can out of it. There we go. I'm also going to kind of squeeze it off of the cap here. There we go. And I'm just going to throw it down. Where did I put that? There it is, right there. I'll put it right there. Okay. And let me go ahead and grab some of this orange. Just a little bit. Just a teeny tiny bit of it. It doesn't need to be too much. There we go. That's probably enough right there. Let's kind of mix that in. There we go. It's very close to the color that I was using earlier, which is great. It's kind of got that Dijon mustard kind of color to it. Dijon mustard, so yummy. It's making me hungry. Bought some snacks earlier before I started the stream. And I'm, like, starting to think about them now. I have this addiction to, like, really spicy chips. I mean, who would have thought that a guy whose YouTube personality is called Mr. Habanero would absolutely love eating spicy food, huh? But I recently I've been eating a lot of like Takis lately, and it's actually really funny. What got me into eating Takis is actually the down the hatch videos that Mike Hatcher does. I watching him eat those like super spicy snack foods, like like for example, I tell him that the down the hatch video where he ate the Doritos chili lime explosion chips. After I saw that video for the first time, I went out to the market and I bought a bag of them. And I was just like shoving them in my face, like, oh my god, these are so good. I love spicy food. It's my favorite. Oh man. But yeah, that's the thing is like I actually use Mike Hatcher's Down the Hatch videos to give me ideas of snack foods I want to try. Like I remember when he did he did a Down the Hatch for like I think it was like Sweet Tarts like ropes or something like that. No joke, right after he did that video, I went out and I bought like a couple packages of those ropes. So bad. Like, I mean, my spending habits, so bad. Just buying terrible junk food that I probably shouldn't be eating. But I mean, that should say something about, like, his ability to, like, sell you a product, you know? Like, if he can do a video where he's, like, talking about, like, a product that, like, he's trying to say, like, oh, it's so terrible, but, like, it makes you go out and you buy it. Like, that has to say something about his ability to advertise something. So funny. But yeah, I love spicy food, and I recently got addicted to, like, eating Takis and stuff like that. And the Takis that I've been eating a lot of that I'm just totally addicted to is there are these spicy nacho cheese, like they're like super spicy nacho cheese Takis. And oh my god, I think they're like some of the best damn chips I've ever had in my entire life. I think they are so delicious. And I keep buying like bags of them like all the time. They're so good. It's like, I don't know. They're probably not good for me, but oh my god, I love them. So delicious. This color is just so, like, I'm so happy with how good this color looks. It makes me so happy. I just love it when I can, like, paint something and it looks exactly like how I want it to look. It's the best feeling ever. God, now I'm craving those damn Takis. Oh, man. I'm just like, my mouth is watering. I want some so bad. I don't mind if tubers advertise and shill some people can't or won't work along, as long as they aren't hurting others. Why should it matter? Yeah, I agree. Like, I think that, like, I generally support, like, because I know that there's a lot of, like, people who complain about, like, oh, like, you were such a good YouTuber until you became a shill. And it's like, dude, that person is following their dream of making content that makes them money. Like, and that's for all YouTubers. Like, I don't care how big you are. Like, if you can, if you can live, like, not just survive, but live comfortably off of, like, you know, making video content, and every once in a while, you have to, like, advertise something in order to, like, make money so that you can live comfortably off of your content. And if your content is good, like, I would encourage that. Like, for example, like, I actually, like, it makes me think of, like, I used to make fun of, like, hipsters and stuff like that. Like, in the sense of, like, oh, well, I liked this band before they were cool. And now that they're cool and popular, I don't like them anymore. And it's like, Like, so you're telling me that you like a band, like you liked a band when they weren't making money, and now that they're making money and becoming successful, and that level of success is allowing them to make more music and more content, you don't want to support them anymore? Like, you should be congratulating and rewarding like a band or a content creator for being popular enough to be able to make enough money so that they can comfortably make more content for you. Like, that's how it should be. Like, the idea of like, oh, they're not good anymore because they make money, and it's like, well, screw you. Like, stop watching their content, stop listening to their music. Like, you're obviously ungrateful for, you're not, like, all they want to do is make content that everybody can enjoy. And that's easier for that person when they have a source of revenue involved with their content, which allows them to be more comfortable in making more of their own content. So why would you want to punish them for making more money? You know, like, I've never understood that. Now, like, if them making money drastically changes like their content, like to a point of where it's not anywhere near being what it used to be at all, then I can understand how, you know, somebody might be upset. But if they're still making like great content and like also making money on the side while doing it, I don't see that as something that should be punished, like, at all. Like, I definitely think that the better way is to encourage that kind of activity and reward them for being successful and working harder and having the ability to um, appear more attractive to like larger companies and things like that. Like, I'm very, you know, pro-economic and rewarding people who work hard for their efforts and stuff like that. Let's see. Got myself a bag of habanero barbecue almonds. Oh, that sounds so good. Um, God, you guys are making me hungry. I use cayenne pepper in almost everything. I can't wait to try my sriracha ketchup. Ooh, I have a bottle of sriracha. It's so wonderful. I actually use light chili powder in a lot of different recipes that I make. It's actually a secret ingredient in so many things I put in. And like, there are lots of times where people will be like eating food that I make, especially at my job, and they'll be like, "Oh my god, this is so good. It has a very good like zesty, smoky flavor. Like, this is so delicious. What'd you put in it?" And I'm like, "Oh, light chili pepper." And they're like, "But it's not spicy." And it's like, "Yeah, because you don't need to make something spicy to give it the flavor of the chili. Like, chili pepper does a lot of awesome things with flavor, and it doesn't necessarily need to be spicy to be that way. Like, light chili pepper is such a great ingredient for flavoring things. Just got my... Yeah, I read that. Okay. You guys are making me hungry. I hate reading stories about Dagger or Van Gogh. Oh, okay, I see what you're talking about. Like the artist and how they died in poverty but became icons post-death. Yeah, I mean, there's always the saying about, like, artists, like, the tragic truth of artists is that, like, if you want to be successful, you have to pass away because, you know, they're not creating artwork anymore. And I actually think that, oh, by the way, YouTube user, hi, thank you for joining. Sorry, I only just noticed you in the chat. How are you doing, man? If you're curious, I am painting a extended art, Sulphur Springs. So we're extending the art out, and I'm actually going to also add some portions of the painting that are going to be actual pieces of altar. So, like, in other words, like, it is an extended art, but it's also going to be altered. And if you're curious, let me go ahead and show you what the idea is. So you see the little imp down here. So the goal for this piece, besides extending the art, is to also add in a little imp lady off to the side, hanging out, and a little can of beer. So I might do some other stuff with it, but this is the primary goal of what I'm trying to do with this particular piece. So glad to have you in here, and that's basically what's going on. I spent like, let's see. Excuse me. I spent like $5 on spices, and it really helped me broaden my cooking horizons. Yeah, definitely. Like I definitely think that like having a variety in your spices is very, very helpful in broadening your ability to cook. And I always like trying new things too. Like my thing is I like to experiment with food and kind of like try different methods when cooking. Um, so that way I can learn something new. I can find out what works and what doesn't work. And generally, like, I have never really made any food that is like where I experiment and it came out gross. But I can definitely say, like, there have been times where I'll cook something where I've experimented and it's nowhere near how I was expecting it to taste. So, like, I would change up the methodology the next time I try to cook. So it just kind of depends on what I'm working on and how I'm cooking and what I'm trying to make. Do you like Ito and iced tea? I don't think I know that brand. Ito N? No, I don't think I know that brand. I do like iced tea in general, but I don't think I know that particular brand at all. Okay, so I've kind of gotten this dark orangish yellow going on all over the piece, which is very nice. It came out great. So now I think I'm going to try to add in some white coloration. Well, you know what? Let's kind of work with a lighter yellow color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of take this out of the way for a second, and I'm going to bring the yellow back. Oh, okay, well, you know what? If you want to troll, then that's that. But if you actually want to be a part of the conversation, you can come out of timeout when you have thought about what you've done. So that's that. Thank you, Rebecca. I appreciate it. Okay, so I'm going to add in some more white to this yellow. Here, let me kind of... I think I might grab some white from the tube. Um, that's fine. It's fine. I don't even know, like, I feel like that saying, like, I feel like he was trying to say something with, like, the iced tea that's a joke, but, like, I don't really get what that joke was supposed to be, and it didn't make any sense to me in particular, so whatever. I'm, like, actually trying to say the words in my head and figure out what that was supposed to be, if anything. Whatever. Thank you for doing that, though. You can come back if you feel like you can hang out with the adults, you know. But if not, then you're just going to get hammered over and over again. So, whatever. So I'm going to mix up this yellow a little bit more with the white, and then I'm going to apply it to the card. I'm probably going to add some like dots and things like that to kind of represent the various different specs all across the art and things. So we'll kind of see how it works out. I think this yellow is definitely going to work out pretty good. So let's go ahead and try it out and see how it looks. Yeah, it's fine. I appreciate it, Rebecca. That's why I keep you guys around. Oh, and you know what? Let me go ahead and do this while I'm thinking about it. I was going to do it for somebody else too. Let me handle this really quick. There we go. And the other one is... there we go. Okay, so now we're all good. I just added some moderators, just in case. So, because I was kind of talking about not too long ago having a few more moderators in the chat. So that makes it a little nicer for me, and just in case if anything weird starts happening. The bubbling, right, I had a question. Do you put a scratch coat or does sleeving help? I assume when you talk about scratch coat, you mean like a spray to like add a sheen to the card. Um, I I've had a couple of people tell me I should start doing that, and the thing is that like the only reason why I've never done that is simply because buying the sprays kind of expensive. But I feel like now that I've dedicated more to my artwork, I could probably actually start affording to add like an actual sheen to the card, which is like you said, like a scratch coat. But most of the time, what I do is I just sleeve up the cards, and that usually helps really well. But I think I might actually start adding um, that sheen coat and things like that to make it not only look nicer, but also just to protect the card a little bit better. But right now, I haven't really thought about that. So I'll see. You know what? Maybe this will be the first card that I do it for. I'll have to like go out and buy some. But I don't have any on hand. But you know what? I will try it out and see how it looks. What I might do is I might apply it to. What I'll do is I will buy a can of it, and then I will. Oh, what? Oh! Oh, no way! Oh my god! I understand! Oh no! Oh no! Guys, oh my god, I can't believe I'm saying this. Do you guys want to know who YouTube user was? Do you guys know who YouTube user was? YouTube user is my sister. Oh my god, Lord, I'm so sorry. Oh man, I'm so sorry, sis. You should announce yourself a little better. Oh no. Oh man, that was my sister, guys. Oh, that's so hilarious. And I just now realized when she brought up when she was talking about iced tea, I just realized what she was talking about. There's an ongoing joke between me and my sister about a bottle of iced tea, and it didn't click with me. Oh man, that's so funny. Hi sis, glad to have you in here with us. Oh my god, that's so funny to me. Yep. Oh man. I now realize what you're talking about. She actually sent me a picture of the bottle of iced tea she was talking about. So, okay, to give you guys a little bit of background on what's going on. So, me and my sister have a inside joke about a bottle of iced tea. And it started a long time ago when me and my sister were on vacation together. And what I did was we were having like a thing where we were throwing a can of iced tea at one, like not actually chucking it, but we had like an empty can of iced tea that we were constantly like pushing back and forth. And we, what I did was when we left the restaurant that we had the iced tea at, which was the brand that she's talking about, Ito N, I grabbed the can without her knowledge, and I took it back to our hotel room. And when she went to bed, I took the can out and I put it on the nightstand next to her. So when she woke up, she thought that the can of iced tea was following her. So after that, me and my sister had an ongoing joke of trying to basically force a can of iced tea to follow us back and forth. And I actually still have the bottle that she left me with, so that's what she was referencing. I am so sorry, sis. I didn't know that was you. You should have announced yourself. You should have been like, hey, it's your sister. How's it going? Oh, man, I feel bad. You know what, just to make, so sis, I gotta ask, is this like your official, like, YouTube account, or is this like something else? Like, is this like a side account or something like that? Oh god, that was so funny. Oh man. Yes, it does, doesn't it? Oh man, too funny. So yeah, is this like your official like YouTube account? Like, do you use it a lot, or is it just like this one? You might have still thought I was a troll if I. Oh no, it's okay. I would have properly asked you, and you could have like you probably would have texted me like you did to confirm it. Um. I just think that's so funny that they put you in timeout because we had no idea what you were talking about. She's obviously a troll. She's trolling everybody. Oh man. You know, it's funny. I was actually going to contact you pretty soon to like I know I've been putting it off and I feel really bad cuz like I feel like I should be in touch with you more often, but I've actually been really busy. Um but I'm so glad that like you found out about me doing these streams and oh, that's okay. I understand. Well, yeah, I am thinking about moving over to other platforms. Like, because you used to do Twitch, and I've actually advertised to a couple people that you used to be a Twitch streamer, which I still think you should get back into. You should definitely get back into doing more Twitch. But the thing is that I've kind of learned is that like most video platforms have their yeah, watch out, guys. My sister is a hardcore troll. You guys better watch out. Uh, um, but I've always kind of learned that every platform, like all the video platforms, Twitch, YouTube, DLive, like whatever, they all kind of have like their bad sides to them. And it's just like you just kind of have to like know what portions are too far and like what like where you find your comfort level at. So like I've kind of just preferred YouTube simply because I can even though they have like a lot of problems, I feel like that it's been more comfortable for me in particular to kind of work with. Um, so I can understand if you personally feel like that they're a little too far. Because like I will admit, YouTube has done some things that I don't necessarily agree with. But I kind of like this platform, and they haven't really done anything in particular to really um, make me upset in any particular way. But then again, I guess it's also partially because I'm not big enough to I'm not really big enough to have like a real effect on YouTube, and thus YouTube doesn't have like I'm not big enough for YouTube to have an effect on me. Well, yeah, we'll see. I am planning to expand out and like do other things in other places. So, I mean, I do want to kind of like go over to Twitch, but lately Twitch has kind of had some problems that I haven't been able to get around yet. And it's not specifically that like they're. It's not like a political thing or anything like that. One of the problems that I've had with Twitch is that some of their uh, options are broken. Like one of the best examples I can think of is that I can't change my name on Twitch. And that's kind of a big deal because I need to change my name to my YouTube channel name so that way people can come from here over to Twitch and know exactly who I am. So Twitch could use less gamers. Oh, that's pretty funny. One difference is that we can stream Twitch to our TV and see chat. With YouTube, we can only see the video. We have to pull up chat on our separate laptop. Yeah, I have actually heard that a few different times from other sources that like Twitch is better with TVs and things like that, whereas YouTube is not so friendly with that particular setup. So we'll definitely see. Like I said, I do want to expand out to other platforms. I don't want to just be only here because the thing is that like, and I'm not saying that this will definitely happen, but if there's a situation where like YouTube gets really bad for whatever reason, I want to be able to have other platforms to be able to do my content on. So that's definitely something that I'm trying to keep in mind as well. So Twitch is definitely a very likely option. It's probably the next major step that I'll probably make in continuing on with the growth of my channel and things like that. So, because like multiple platforms means you can apply yourself to multiple different audiences, and like eventually I kind of am expecting that I'll probably have like an actual website and things like that. And then I can have kind of like all of my platforms like YouTube, Twitch. I've even heard things about Mixer, like everybody's, all a hubbub about Mixer. Maybe I'll go over there too, who knows? Just like being able to have all those options is really good. So, like I said, I don't want to just keep myself only here. That's definitely not the plan. But I do actually have to, establish myself here first. And then I think that if I can establish myself here first, I'll be more likely to be more comfortable establishing myself on other platforms as well. But I'm so happy that you found your way over to my streams, and I am so sorry that I have not contacted you to tell you about it. It's, like I said, I've just been very busy, and I actually was talking to Anita and Dad not too long ago, and both of them were like, you gotta tell your sister about this. Like, things are going really well, and you should let her know about it so that she can come in and hang out and all this stuff. And I was like, yeah, you know what? I will, the next time I have a chance to contact her and actually talk with her on the phone, I will invite her over to hang out with me on my streams. And so I'm really sorry that I haven't, like, contacted you. But like I said, I'm super happy that you managed to find your own way over here. That's really awesome, and I really appreciate it. Now, what did you learn? What did you learn, sis? Now, see, what I was going to say was that the reason why I was asking if this was, like, a proper account for you is, because if you have, like, a proper account on YouTube that you want to use regularly, I'll make you a moderator in my stream. But if this is just, like, a temporary account that you're only just kind of using, I won't do it. You learned about Takis? Yes. I like I said, I've been recently really into those chips. It's pretty bad. But they're so good! They're so good! Spicy cheddar, spicy nacho cheese Takis are so delicious. I can't stop eating them. Oh, man. But yeah, like, I definitely am much more interested in trying to do this art. And I know that I was kind of talking about it quite a bit when we were hanging out with Chris and Jamie. Chris and Jamie are friends of my sister, and also I like to think of them as friends too. They're very nice ladies, very cool people. And they also love magic, which is really awesome. But I remember when I was talking about my artwork and stuff like that with Chris and Jamie, that was actually just a little bit before I actually started streaming and doing my stuff. And I'll be totally honest, having the experience where I was getting to, I hung out with you and Chris and Jamie, and I showed you guys my art, and, kind of got to share some of my methods and things that I was doing. And you guys took such a deep interest in it that also helped encourage me to build my channel as it is now. Takis, Eric will not let me buy those anymore. Probably, you're probably better off. They're really not that good for you. Yeah, it's the card art for Sulphurous Springs is really beautiful, Wrath of Wood. And glad to see you joining back in the chat again. Glad to see you, man. I really like this card a lot too. It's Phil Foglio, and Phil Foglio is a fantastic artist. He has like this really interesting way of really whimsical art style that's very cartoonish and a lot of fun. And so I really always loved his art style in particular. So it's really fun to be able to work on this particular piece simply because it's just a Phil Foglio piece, and Phil Foglio is just a really fun artist who likes to. Yeah, here let me refocus. Let me kind of bring it in a little bit, and I can flip it around also so you guys can see it just a little bit better. Yeah, I've been kind of like struggling with the autofocus on this camera, which is funny because I bought this camera for the autofocus. Like that was a major deal for it, and it's definitely giving me some issues, obviously. There we go. That's a lot better. And I mean, I guess like considering that it's kind of giving me a bit of a rough time. Um, oh yeah, it definitely looks good when the focus is working properly. Um, but yeah, I definitely want to get like I want to get a camera that is just like really good at focusing and showing like the beauty of the cards and stuff like that so that people can read them. But if you were to ever go into like my past streams, you would definitely tell that this is a much greater improvement from what I used to have, like my original setup. Like this is so much better and so much nicer. But like I said, like I would like to continue to improve, and a lot of the time that's as simple as buying, better equipment. Um, but this camera cost me this guy right here cost me $60, and that was pretty steep for me. Um, and so that was like the next logical upgrade to higher quality. But I mean, like I said, like eventually, like I've talked with a couple of other YouTubers that I enjoy, and most of them tell me like, oh yeah, like my camera's like $200, and it's like, whoa, like I don't know if I can go that far yet. So we'll definitely see. I'll look into it because I do want to get like better quality and just constantly find ways to improve is my ideal. So. But like I said, I'm glad you guys take an interest in like my quality and how it's coming together, because like that's what's important is giving a experience that's just much nicer to the eye and to everybody overall. So that devil is just hot tub chilling in the sulfur. Yeah. I'm really excited to add the other portion over here. Like I'm going to add a little lady friend for this little imp over here, so that he can truly be chilling with his lady friend, and he can have like a little can of beer by his side and things like that. Uh, ooh, that's really hot. Yeah. Imps like to boil alive, I guess. That's just their kind of thing, I guess. I don't know. Who am I to judge? The imps want to do their thing, and that's totally okay. I'm going to kind of add some dots here. There we go. Just kind of trying to add a little bit more there. Sorry, I'm kind of causing it to go out of focus here. It's really tough because like sometimes I'll like put my hand in front of the camera and it'll just like jump out of focus, which is really obnoxious. Yeah, probably. Oh man. But I do like how it's coming out. It just looks so nice. Let's see. Do you like the crane action, by the way, sis? That's another improvement to the channel that I've made is getting this camera on a crane so that I can kind of get it to like zoom in and zoom out and things like that. Come on. There we go. Okay. But yeah, I like the crane. It's a lot of fun. There we go. Let's see here. Maybe get it set right and then turn off autofocus? Maybe. I don't know. I haven't really played around with this camera too much, like with its autofocus and stuff like that. But having it in autofocus was kind of like like I said, that was like one of the things that made me really want to get the camera. So I kind of have to like experiment with it, I guess. I haven't really done that, and I probably should. Um, but anything to really get it to work right would be wonderful. So I'll probably look into that pretty soon. Let's see. My cat walked through the door. She's an indoor cat. I then realized my basement window is open. Uh-oh. Make sure your cat's okay, man. Take care of that kitty, Peacock. Alright. Get some more of this whitish yellow color going on. I'll probably actually add some actual white coloration to this yellow because it's kind of starting to blend in, which I'm not the biggest fan of. I kind of want it to like stand out a bit more. So I'll probably have to do that pretty soon. God, thinking about all those Takis and spicy food is really making me hungry. You know, honestly, I just now realized that this stream has been going on for like 2 hours and 20 minutes. So I think I should probably wrap it up. Like, I'm so focused on the artwork and stuff like that that I wasn't paying attention to the time. And I do have to get better at that. Like, I have to be more attentive of, like, the overall time that my streams are going on. So I think we're probably going to take a break here. I will wrap up this stream, and we will come back on a different day. It'll probably be... Let's see, so... Work tomorrow, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So maybe Wednesday. You know what? I think I might try to come back and do a stream this coming Wednesday. So if you guys are cool with that, we will continue on with this piece. And I know it's a little different that, you know, the fact that I'm actually spending more than 2 parts on this piece, but this piece is very important because it's my very first commission. I'm being paid to do this. So I really want to be very careful with it, make it look absolutely amazing. So I'm trying to work as hard as I possibly can, add as many details as possible. I really want Man Cave to be very happy with this piece, so I'm working my butt off on it. So it's probably going to, it might be that this will be a 3-part, 4-part altar. So, I think I'm just going to wrap it up here because it's very late. We're like 2 hours, 20 minutes in. So I'm going to wrap it up, and I will say goodbye to all you guys. Thank you guys so much for coming out today. I'm really happy to see you in here, sis. I hope that you can come and join us every once in a while. It's very cool. I'm so happy that you managed to find me. And I'm glad you guys like it. I'm glad that it's looking good to you guys. Let me kind of, you know, show it off just a little bit more so we can kind of show off what we did. There we go. That's nice. It kind of auto-focused exactly how I want it. So, I'm just going to say the stereotypical stuff that I always say. If you're not already subscribed, please subscribe below. Hit that if you want to be notified of when my streams are happening or possibly any videos I might have in the future. Hit that notification bell. Feel free to check out my DeviantArt page. I haven't updated in a while, so it's a bit behind. For anybody who goes in there and, you know, regularly, it's pretty far behind. But feel free to go in there, check out some of my older art. I do have a PayPal available, so if anybody wants to donate or like donate money, or if you're interested in sending having me do a commission for you, that would be the way to pay me. Feel free to join my Discord page. My Discord page is the same name as my channel, and it is a public channel, so you got a public Discord page. So feel free to join. I will accept you in, and we can talk about art, talk about magic cards. We talk about all sorts of things. If you're interested in a commission, you can chat with me there about, you know, what kind of piece you want. I also have a P.O. box set up now, so if you guys want to send me fan mail, magic cards, That's also how I will send out commissions to people, is through my P.O. box. My P.O. box address is in the description below, so feel free to send me whatever. Um, other than that, I'm going to say goodbye to all of you. Thank you so much for coming out, and as I like to say, follow your dreams, guys. Take it easy. Bye. Or send iced tea. Yes, thank you, sis.